guys, how's it going? It's Heather, and today I'm going to be reviewing One Dark Throne by Kendare Blake. I received an early copy from HarperTeen in exchange for this honest review. So I did initially acquire this book as an early copy, and of course with college it was hard for me to pick it up and read it as fast as possible for the release date a couple days ago. However, I did manage to finish it as quickly as I could, and it did not disappoint. There were some moments where it was kind of slow and it wasn't really picking up for me, but I still gave this book 4 stars out of 5. So we all know what the first book was, 3 Dark Crowns, and this one came out last year. The first book introduced the 3 queens. One of them's a poisoner, one's an elemental, and the other's a naturalist. So the bottom line of the start of the series is that they have to kill each other until one stands, and then that one that is standing is actually going to be the queen. Now in the first book, Mirabella is actually the strongest queen, so it's kind of implied that she might be the one that's going to be the queen, and that's even implied in the second book as well. Catherine is actually a sickly looking girl because of all the poison that she's ingesting, and it's actually making her weak. So really in the first book that kind of points to the fact that she's not really a poisoner, and as it turns out, Arsenault is actually the poisoner. And of course we remember in the end how Peter pushes Catherine down into that deep darkness, and we're all just like, what the hell? Anyway, One Dark Throne pretty much picks up right after that when Catherine returns looking like a freaking zombie. Of course, she's not really dead, but something has changed with her, and we get to explore that in One Dark Throne. And it's actually very kind of creepy, especially when there's a scene when Peter actually goes down into that darkness and he sees certain things that really freaks him out, and it actually freaked me out reading it. So I want to talk about Catherine first, because in the first book I actually really liked her and I felt sorry for her, especially when she got pushed. And after reading One Dark Throne, I am totally blowing that out of the water, because she's completely different in this book, and it's not a good kind of different. She's actually kind of evil, and it's all because she is stemming on this revenge for Peter because he pushed her, and she is pretending to still be a poisoner, and she's ingesting all this poison, and she's kind of going crazy. It kind of reminded me of like a mad scientist, but without all the crazy hair and whatnot. But Catherine in One Dark Throne is actually really just crazy. That's the only way I can describe it, and I really feel bad for myself last year for actually liking her. I remember taking a quiz for Epic Reads before the book came out, and I got Catherine as the queen that I'm supposed to be, and I was like so happy, and then when I read One Dark Throne I was like, oh, never mind. Anyway, Catherine goes through a lot in this book, but I honestly do feel like the things that she does in this book gives her some sort of guilt. She really doesn't want to show it because she really wants to be queen. And she's really dead set on killing her sisters, Mirabella and Arsenault. So that's interesting to read. But also, in the end, I do kind of feel for Catherine, even though she's not really my favorite anymore. I do think there's something within her that she is feeling, and it's guilt. She still feels kind of wrong about what she's doing, and she's struggling with the changes that have happened to her since she fell into that hole. So let's talk about Arsenault. Arsenault is actually the poisoner, and she actually has to hide this so it doesn't screw up everything. So she's secretly ingesting poison. Jules and Joseph know. And after the whole debacle in the first book, she actually has to keep pretending that she has a familiar, so she actually returns to the bear, and because of the low magic, the bear and Arsenault actually bond together, and it's actually kind of sweet to see. So she's containing this gift as a poisoner, and she can't really show it. She has to pretend that she's still a naturalist, and that's really hard when she's being hunted by Catherine. There's a scene where Catherine actually is hunting Arsenault, and Arsenault just has to continue to appear to be something that she's not. Arsenault didn't really connect with me in the first book, but after reading her in One Dark Throne, I'm really connected to her. I really feel for her. At the end of the book, Arsenault is really damaged, and I have a feeling that in the next book she's going to be even more damaged after the things that have happened. So I'm really interested to see how her story continues, especially after what happened in the end of this book. Also, it's interesting because Arsenault is close to Mirabella. You would think that all these sisters would hate each other because they have to kill each other to get a crown, but actually Mirabella and Arsenault actually get close in this book and become real sisters. So that was very sweet to see. And going on to Mirabella, her character definitely grows in this book too, but she still struggles. We know that she and Joseph had a little inappropriate thing going on in the first book that we all hated. And I do think she still carries a torch for Joseph, even though Joseph tries to convince himself, you know, that he still loves Jules, and that was a mistake. There is a few moments between Mirabella and Billy, Arsenault's lover. Billy goes to Mirabella's home, and he's actually going to be a taster for her so she won't get poisoned by Catherine. And they actually do get close, and I was kind of worried. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be another Joseph scenario. Please don't let this happen. And I'm going to go ahead and say, thankfully, it does not happen. They're more like close friends. I think it's because Mirabella does care for Arsenault like a sister, so she doesn't want to hurt her like that. She doesn't really know Jules, so she didn't really know what she was doing with Joseph. So that's a kind of different scenario. But I do still think Mirabella struggles with the act of love and finding love. I can definitely sense that in this book because she's always on the side when something loving is happening, like between Joseph and Jules, or with Billy and Arsenault. And it really makes me want her to find love, someone that can actually love her. There's no other person in the picture. In One Dark Throne, Mirabella is still the strongest, in my opinion. There's still talk that she is supposed to be the true queen. Even Arsenault believes so. But I do think there will be some tension as to who will be the true queen or what will even happen in the next book. Because as of right now, it doesn't seem like anything's going to plan. Everything's going off tradition, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I do want to talk about Jules for a minute because she does play a much bigger role in this book. And it was very interesting to see her character growth, especially what's going on inside her. Now, I do remember in the first book, there was mention of a fourth sister. Some things do happen to Jules that really puts her in a bind. And it really puts more action in the story, and it really builds up to something that I think will probably happen that will be really big later on in the series. I'm not sure how else to describe it without spoiling the story because I don't want to do that. I think we are going to see a lot more of Jules as the series continues on, and I don't know if it'll be good or bad. But the ending was very heartfelt, I suppose, especially between Arsenault and Jules because some things happen and it really connects to how Arsenault's despair will continue on throughout the series. You can never have a good YA book if there are no twists and turns along the way. And I can definitely tell you that One Dark Throne definitely threw some twists at me. I actually had to tweet Kendar and be like, what the hell happened? Why did you have to make this happen? If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably already seen it by now. The one big twist I wish I could tell you, but I can't because it'd be a major spoiler. It totally ruined me and it totally made the book better. Like I said, the book started out kind of slow. It felt like filler chapters, but as it went on and as it got to the end, it just really blew me away. It's the kind of twist where you're just mad at the author, but you have a feeling that it had to happen for some reason, and you'll find out later in the series. But I still wish it didn't happen. Do you guys see how hard it is to review this book and not give away spoilers because so much happened? And I just want to tell you guys, but I can't. I did give One Dark Throne 4 stars out of 5. I gave the first book 4 stars out of 5. The point of views were really easier to follow than the first book, but it was still kind of a slow start. It just felt like filler chapters. However, as it went on through the pages, it got more interesting. There were more secrets, more twists and turns. Bottom line, I'm still wanting to read the next book and see what happens. I know Kendar said she wants to do novellas for this series as well. I think there might be one more book. I'm not sure. I think it's still up in the air right now. One Dark Throne already came out this past Tuesday, so if you have not gotten it, go ahead and go to your bookstore and get it. Remember to post your reviews on Goodreads and any other booksellers online. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. Follow my social media accounts, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!